get that recording. So yes, this is obviously to do with our agreement with IUA, and what I'd like to do is first of all explain who's speaking, who will be speaking. Well, I might as well start with me as I'm there, as I'm speaking now. My name is Nick Broom, as I say. I'm a Senior Learning Consultant for Epigeum and OUP, and I will be your primary implementation contact during this agreement, and we'll talk about our role. And I'm going to be helped by my colleague Michelle Olmsted, who I think some of you may already know. And as it's such a big and important project, she will be helping me out as well, which is fantastic. And she's also going to be involved in the presentation today. And Dr. Jennifer Brennan, she sent a message. She's on her way. She had to go to Carlo today, and so she may be a few minutes late. She does have some slides in the presentation. So what I propose is that we actually we go back to her slides when she gets here. So it'll be a slightly variable running order, but our agenda, these are the areas that we would like to cover. And so I'll just do a little introduction to Epigeum, an overview of the agreement itself from an IUA perspective. As I said, we might have to put that a little bit later for when Jennifer gets here. An overview and a demo of the Research Integrity Program, the full length actually, and also the concise one. Yes, sure. And then also a demonstration of the reporting panels on the impact toolkit, and also on the concise one, and also on the full length program. I'll explain more about that as we go along. We'll look at the sort of implementation support that we can offer, and then of course any roundup and questions, but do ask questions as we go along. What I want to do actually is open the floor and just perhaps ask you just to say who you are on the line, if that's possible, and where you're coming from. I don't know whether I could perhaps read through. I've got the list of names up here already. So I don't know. First on my list is Carmel McKenna. Perhaps you could check in with us, please. Did you say where you've come from?
I can help you there, Mick. This is Patrick. Carmel's from Limerick Institute of Technology.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Great. Fantastic. So you work together. I've got Catherine Green. Hello. She's not got her speaker on, so she's online, so she's here anyway. Okay. So we've got that. Drew Murphy, also from LIT, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then we've got, forgive my pronunciation, Ema. Is it Ema Cunningham?
Yeah, Dreamer, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm in UCD. UCD Graduate Studies.
Great. UCD Graduate Studies. Fantastic. Thank you. Here's a name I know. Fiona.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Right, thank you. You okay?
Yeah, grand. So DC Research Office.
Great, thank you. That's fab. We've got Lucy Barry Dawkins, also from LIT, it looks like. Yeah, so it's like there's some microphone issues some places. Marie, LIT again, looks like. Can you hear me? Yep.
Hear me? Okay. Hi, how are you doing, Nick?
Okay, thank you. Yes. Are you all well?
Yeah, great.
Good.
And I'm checking in here from Limerick Institute.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Michelle, as you're there, I'm working you on the list. I've introduced you partly, but you might like to add something.
Yes, I think some of you probably already know me, but I'm Michelle Olmsted and I work for Epigeum as well, and I'm the academic implementation expert. So I'll be helping Nick as we go through this large project for implementation. And if you have any questions, if Nick is away, then I will probably pick those up with you.
Great, brilliant, thank you. We've got Orla Lynch. Can't see where you're from. Here we have. You've written. So there we are. Research Projects Officer, Dundalk. Oh, it's disappeared. The message. Let's have a quick look. Dundalk Institute of Technology. Watching online, no mic, unfortunately. Okay, fine, great. Patrick has spoken to. He's from LIT as well.
Yeah.
Roshina, forgive my pronunciation. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Where are you from?
School Postgraduate Studies in the Royal College of Surgeons.
Oh, right. Okay, excellent. Okay, great. Oh, thanks for joining us. I've got Ronan.
Hello. I'm a
Hi.
postgraduate at LIT.
I've got a very strong LIT presence, which is great. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Ronan. And then we've got Anne Ryan.
I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
So where are you
sorry,
from?
I'm research officer in IUA Galway.
Ah, yes. Okay, in IUA Galway. Fantastic. And there's another name I know, Sharon Bailey. I don't know if she's got any audio though. I think she might have written that she hasn't got audio. But anyway, that's great. Sharon from UCD. Then Siobhan McSweeney.
Hi, I'm not sure if I have a microphone working or not.
Oh, you are. I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Hi, everyone.
Oh, you've written something in there. Yeah. Okay.
I see. I didn't know it might have had a microphone.
Yeah. So Head of Research Institute of Technology in Tralee. So yeah, your microphone is definitely working. And then Veronica Cunningham. I'm getting a bit of echo, but are you there, Veronica? Maybe not. Your speaker's on, looks like. From Marine, it looks like. The Marine Institute, I think that is. Okay. Anyway, yeah, maybe she's having some issues. I'll just check I haven't missed anyone out. Anyway, thank you and welcome to all of you. Thank you very much. As I said, we'll be joined by Jennifer shortly. So I just want to. Okay. So just want to start anyway. We're just saying a couple of words about OUP and Epigeum. Epigeum was started out as a spin out from Imperial College London, and it was formed in 2005 by two gentlemen, David Lefebvre and David Babington Smith, to try and find solutions to and to provide high quality training courses for research staff. David Lefebvre is still involved with us actually. David Babington Smith has left. And they developed these materials largely initially on research from their business school teaching and learning unit. We now actually developed out into research, teaching, studying, and leadership and management as 4 sort of topic areas covering all our programs. And then just over 2 years ago, Oxford University Press came in and bought Epigeum, so we're now wholly owned by Oxford University Press. And I just added that last point, successful development group model. Our projects are largely developed on, formed on these development groups where we get groups of specialists from various universities to come together and help us design a program. And I know that some of your universities and institutions have been involved in the projects, in the various projects that that we've run in the past. I've just seen that Jennifer's arrived, so that's very, very timely, because as I recall, the next slide will be her her one. She's got about 7 or 8. Jennifer, are you there? Not yet. Maybe she's just coming in. Yeah.
Nick, I'm here now.
Oh, wonderful! You've timed that absolutely perfectly, because we're just getting to your slides actually.
Okay.
We've just had a sort of introductory part, and we've all said who we are.
Okay.
And so we've got 18 people on the line, which is fantastic. And yeah, so all we've done really so far is introduce ourselves and just a little bit about Epigeum's history and background. So we've also got my colleague Michelle, who I think you've met before, or at least spoken to, maybe Michelle Olmsted. She's on the line as well. She'll be talking through some of these slides as well. But the next sort of suite of slides are yours actually. I'll just put the first one up. So are you ready to sort of go into that and just explain something a bit more detailed about the actual agreement and the National Forum and so on?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. And so I apologize for being late. I was just traveling back from Carlo this morning, so just didn't really leave myself enough time, so apologies for that. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Jennifer Brennan, and I work at the Technological Higher Education Association, which is the representative body for the 14 Institutes of Technology. And I am the Deputy Chair of the National Research Integrity Forum. So, Nick, can you advance the slides, or can I do it from here?
Yeah, I can do it if you like. Shall I just do it from here?
Thank you. Lovely. Okay, so a little bit about the National Research Integrity Forum. So we were established in June 2015 after the publication of the National Policy Statement on Ensuring Research Integrity in Ireland, which was a kind of I suppose, a cross-organisational publication between institutes, between universities, between funders, between other stakeholders such as the Higher Education Authority. And it's chaired by Professor Anita Maguire, who's the Vice President for Research and Innovation at University College Cork, and the Deputy Chair is myself in PIA. It's jointly coordinated by the Irish Universities Association and PIA, and it contains a mix of research funders, research performing organisations and stakeholder organisations. And about 6 months after we were established, we were tasked with responsibility for research integrity in the Irish Government Research and Innovation Strategy called Innovation 2020. So if you turn to one of the back pages of Innovation 2020, you'll see a number of actions around research integrity, and we have been tasked with actually putting those in place. So next slide, please, Nick. So the overall goal of the National Forum, we have about 8 different objectives, but one of the things that relates to this particular pilot is to support the development and rollout of research integrity training programs for staff and students in the research performers. And we've actually had that goal since we were inaugurated, and that comes from the National Policy Statement, which was published, as I said, in 2014. In addition to that, then, and kind of following on from that, Innovation 2020 states that we would look at developing and implementing nationally harmonised best practice guidelines, training curricula, and processes for handling research misconduct. And so it's in Innovation 2020 that research integrity training should be put in place in publicly funded research performing organisations. And the Forum is actually reporting annually to the Innovation 2020 Implementation Group on our progress in these areas. Actually, the report for 2016 was actually only published just yesterday. As part of our discussion through the National Forum, I think many of the research funders have indicated that completion of research integrity training will become mandatory on receipt of funding in the near future. And in fact, having had research integrity training may in fact become an eligibility criterion in applying, but that's something that will come further down the line. So, next slide, please. So the subscription that we have negotiated with Epigeum, and this has been a very long process, I've been talking to them since April 2016, is a 3-year duration, and it's costing in the region of €237,000. It provides training for a total of 5,000 end users per annum, which will give us 15,000 people trained in total over the 3 years of the pilot. And we've estimated that there's about 25,000 people within the system who could complete this training. And so we're kind of going to get to train over half of them during the 3 years of the pilot, which is great. And some of them already have completed training either in Ireland or in other locations. So we'll have a lot of people trained by the end of this pilot. So we estimated, based on data that we got from the Higher Education Authority, that you would be able to provide training for all new research students per year, 30% of research staff and 10% of academic staff. And we've also included an allocation for non-higher education research performers such as Teagasc and the Marine Institute. But it's very important to say that each research performing organisation will have the autonomy to roll out the training as they see fit. So you don't have to offer it, for example, to all new research students and 1/3 of your research staff and 10% of your academic staff. You can roll it out in whatever way that you like. Next slide, please. Nick, thank you. So the subscription then, very happy to say, is actually funded substantially by the research funding organisations in Ireland who are listed on the screen, and also a contribution from the Irish Universities Association and from PIA, where I work. So we have Science Foundation Ireland, the Health Research Board, Irish Research Council, Enterprise Ireland, Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, the Environmental Protection Agency, Teagasc and the Marine Institute, in addition to IUA and PIA, who are paying for the subscription for the 3 years. And actually the contract between Epigeum is actually with the Irish Universities Association. So they're the ones who actually hold the contract, and they will then be invoicing the research funders for their part of the contribution over the 3 years. So what this essentially means is that this is a program that's been rolled out in the higher education institutions, paid for by the funders with absolutely no cost to the higher education institutions and research performers. So it's a great start for us to be able to put in place this state-of-the-art program without having to look for ways to fund it ourselves internally, which, as we know, is always difficult in the current funding climate in Ireland. Next slide, please. Okay, so the training package that we are receiving, and I'm sure Nick is going to go through this in a little bit more detail, is the Research Integrity Training course, which they've had available for a number of years now. It's really at an introductory level, so we would think of this probably for PhD, master's research students, and perhaps early career postdocs. The duration of the course is about 5 hours, but you can build it up longer to perhaps even 25 to 30 hours of additional activities. And there are 5 versions of the course to cover 5 different research areas. Then there's the Research Integrity Concise course, which has been available since April last year, which is really targeted at experienced researchers and takes between 45 to 75 minutes to complete. In addition to that, we have a subscription to what's called the Impact Toolset, which is a set of analytics and reporting tools, which will allow you to look at things like course uptake, completion and performance, and also uses surveys to determine the, I suppose, the impact of the training on the particular person who's taking the training, and we can monitor that within institutions to see how it's going. Next slide, please. Okay, so a little bit about access, and we do have some existing subscribers in some of the higher education institutions, which we'll have to just tidy up a little bit. On the hosting, so those of you that have worked with Epigeum before, I think would normally be used to a situation where you would buy the modules from Epigeum or buy a license to the modules, and then you would put them on your own institutional PLE, like Moodle or whichever it is that you use. For this, actually, for the pilot to work, we're going to host the courses on Epigeum's VLE, and this facilitates the use of the Impact Toolset and also the access to the Research Integrity Concise course. And what we're recommending is that the courses could be used as a standalone training, or you could combine them with in-person training in a blended format, and some of the HEIs have done that with their existing access. In terms of access control, Epigeum will assign 5,000 tokens per year to the consortium, and 1 token equals 1 completed course. They'll set up each research performing organisation on the platform with their own access and assign a number of tokens to each of these institutional setups. And this will require you to provide a nominated contact person to Epigeum from each of the research performing organisations. And my office will be reaching out to all of the HEIs in the next week or so, just to get a list of names of contact persons. It probably makes sense that if you already have somebody within your organisation who liaises with Epigeum, that would be the same person. And then the research performing organisation will assign its own tokens internally and set up the access for each user. And I believe Nick is going to demonstrate today a little bit of how the admin panel works and how you can do that. The impact module then will allow for individual research performing organisation monitoring of their own activity, and also system level kind of monitoring by the National Forum. So I suppose as part of the condition for the funders giving us the money, did you want to kind of know how many people have completed the course and a little bit of information about the impact training. It's very important to say that the National Forum, as in IUA, will not be able to see the data for individual institutions, so how many people in UCD and how many people in GMIT have taken the training. They'll just see overall in Ireland X amount of people have taken the training, and they also won't see the impact data on the basis of individual institutions either. Next slide, please. Okay, and you absolutely cannot see this, so I do apologise, but this is just a list of the token allocations that we have given to each higher education institution and to the Marine Institute, Teagasc, and the other research performers. This was done on the basis of the same calculation that we came to the 5,000 per year cap. So it's the all new research students, the 30% of research staff, and the 10% of academic staff based on the HEA data for your organisation, or data that we got direct from performers such as RCSI, Teagasc, and Marine Institute. The list of these was included in the briefing document that was sent around to announce the pilot, and also including the details of this webinar. If you don't have access to that briefing document, or you haven't been sent the list and you're not sure how many tokens you've been allocated, please get in touch with either myself or Nick, and we can provide you that information. So I think that's it for me for now, and I guess if you have any questions at the end, I'd be happy to take them. Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. That's great. So would you rather have questions at the end, you're saying? Would that be better?
Yeah, well, unless anybody has a burning question now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, I'll just open that up, just see if there's any written ones. Okay. Right. Okay, I don't think I've got any there. Okay, apparently there's a bit of an echo, so I'll try and get...
It's better now, Nick.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we wanted just to show you a little bit about the programs and the reporting systems. There will be a little bit of overlap with what Jennifer said, but I don't think that's a problem at all. The research integrity programs, as we said, there's two that we have: the full-length one we mentioned, and the shorter concise one, to ensure that researchers understand their professional responsibilities. These were designed with those aims, and to give advice on dealing with some of the issues when planning, conducting, and reporting research. The two programs, there's something important to say here, is that the full-length one is actually available with and without the impact toolkit, the reporting toolkit, which we will show and talk about in more detail in a moment. But for 2018, because there's some data change laws, as we know, coming through, data law changes, coming through, and we decided that it would be best if you stuck to the normal standard research integrity program, not the impact one, for 2018, and we'll have a new version of that impact RI in January 2019. Because it would also involve losing data as well along the way. So we've agreed that that would be the best course of action, and we'll be doing that. So I'll be showing you that as well, of course. And as Jennifer said, suitable for undergraduate, postgraduate, and early career researchers, the longer program. And it's divided into those 5 discipline strands, which again I'll show you again in a second. And then the concise version, this is actually only available with impact. So this one necessarily will be with the impact reporting kit, and this is designed for more experienced researchers. Going back to the research integrity full length. So around the 5 hours mark. So we have the strands biomedical sciences, natural and physical sciences, engineering and technology, social and behavioural sciences, and arts and humanities. And as you can see, there's a lot of additional optional material that can be added in as well. And although there are some differences, of course, in sort of practice scenarios, there are differences to distinguish the 5 different strands. They do have the 5 modules in common, as you see written here. So those would stay the same, but some of the examples and some of the contexts will differ according to the strand that they're using. Well, just what I'd like to do is show you just a few screens from the full length one. This is the sort of intro page that we'll have. As you see, I hope you can see this okay. I'll just check that you can. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Let's just close that. Yep, so you've got the 5 strands as you see. We set our pass mark on our system, virtually all our programs, as 80%. There's a couple which are 75%, but we set it 80%. And when the pass mark is achieved, this download button will light up, and then they can download a certificate, obviously with their name and the fact that they've passed the program. So just to show you a couple of pages, will we have access to any reporting data uptake of the full? Yes, you will. I'll show you that in a sec if I may. I'll just show you a few screens from the program to start with. This is from the full length, the introductory screen. A few things to point out here. We give an estimate of the duration of how long it will take to cover each screen. It is very approximate, but just to give a bit of a guideline on that. We will have a screen. We always have a screen challenge at the beginning of the page, just to focus attention on the content that's to come. We do also offer text to print version for readers. And we have, as you will see, these pods, what we call pods down the side, which largely contain more information that which can be optional. One thing to say is that if the user would like to hold and keep their feedback and their thoughts from the activities, particularly the more reflective ones, we offer a portfolio. I've actually already downloaded it, so just to show you. And they can basically cut and paste their thoughts and their answers and so on into this portfolio. So that's something that they can download and put stuff into that. Let's just go back. Okay. So that's the introductory screen. I've just taken a few just to show you the sort of activities. Now, in this particular one, at the risk of confusing you, but I think it's worth mentioning it, we do, in some of our programs, we have polls which are not impact polls. In other words, these do not feed back into our general impact data. This is the non-impact version, if I can just reinforce that. But we do have some of these polls during the non-impact program. So, for example, how important should the 4 key principles be for research professionals? I'll just put them in at random. How often do you follow these 4 key principles in practice? Sometimes. And how often do your colleagues follow these 4 key principles in practice? I'll put occasionally. Then you vote, and you can see the results. It's largely just to, particularly people who are working alone, they can sort of compare their thoughts and see what other people are thinking in the same area. And so you see the breakdown of how people have voted over the years in our programs. We also have. I wanted just to show you a couple of the actual exercises. How many PhD or higher degree students applying for studentships or research posts have been found to misrepresent, i.e. fabricate their personal publication in their CVs? I'll just put a random one there. We check an answer. So I've got that wrong. It will give you also extra feedback on the activity, either directly on the activity or on how you've done it. And these, just the main reason I'm showing you is I wanted to point out that although there is a score, these scores don't feed back into the quiz score. The only sort of scoring system that will give them the certificate will be the quiz, which I'll show you in a second. So we have that as an option. We have a lot of drag and drop exercises. So I'll just do this now. I wanted to show you this one because it's this is different from one type, because actually you can put in and check your answers. I got them all wrong, never mind. And obviously you can see the answers and restart the activity. So this is a type of activity that you can do, and you can get wrong, as it were. What I wanted to show you is another one which you can't get wrong as such. I'll come back to that video in a second. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, I've got the wrong one. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I can't. I'll just go to the video for a second. Yeah, because we do have a number of drag and drops where you put it into position, and it won't let you place the answer in. It'll send you back until you get it right. So you can only proceed when you get it correct. We use a lot of video throughout the programs. I'll just see. I don't know whether we'll get any audio on this, but we can try. Okay. I'll stop that there. As you see, you can also have the transcript of the videos. So as I said, that's a very popular feature of our programs. They are dotted through the program. I'll just say one more screen. This was the activity I was talking about. So the dragging and drop. So as you see, it won't let you get it wrong, as it were. So you can only proceed when you get it right. Again, I'll do it randomly, and so on. So that's just another typical. So we try and have a number of interactive type of exercises, or sort of mobile exercises to maintain interest and variety in the programs. So, and as you see, there's a number of polls, useful links, key terms, these things down the side, which can be very useful and also provide extra activities as well. I mentioned earlier the practice scenario, so that, as I said, will differ slightly between each of the 5 strands. So now's your opportunity to apply what you've learned on this course to a real life situation. Read through the description, and when prompted, indicate what you would do and why. I won't go through all the detail now, but I'm sure in the next few months you'll be getting familiar with these and working your way through the programs. So that would be a mix of information and activities as they go through the scenario. We have resource bank. The course summary, which I've skipped there, but that's fine. References and guide to research policies and guidelines, there's something on that. And then, as I said, the quiz, which is the all-important part for getting the certificate. Here we've got, so it's 10 questions, and as I said, they've got to get 80%, and then the little thing lights up and they can download their certificate. So, okay, any questions on that so far? I'll just open up and have a look at the chat box because I've had to shut it at the moment. Oh, what? No. Am I getting no audio at all? Oh no. Oh,
I can hear you, Nick.
Oh, good.
I think it was just video.
Mr. Rasheen said, for the video. Oh, phew. Oh, give me a bit of a heart attack there. Oh, did you not hear the video? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I won't go back on that now because I know we've got such a lot to get through. But as I said, it's quite handy that we've also got the tape script to that as well. But obviously they do work. I'm sorry that didn't come through. Okay, right. Okay. Okay, I don't think I've got any new questions there so far. So let's just pop back to that. Okay. So, so with the admin panel, this can be available for both of the programs. Again, I'll pop out again and pop back there. So the sort of reports that you can run. So we'll go to that and we'll go to admin. Okay, so let's put that right. Okay, so these reports you can run yourselves. We have the most basic one is the course usage one. I shall just pick out. Let's do that one. You can actually drill down into the type of into the strand. I think I'll leave it as all. You can select the status at the institution, whether they're full or part-time, and so on, and also put in some dates, should you wish, when they registered and when the delegate attempted the course. This is probably the most basic report we have, and this can be downloaded as a CSV file or as HTML. I'll do this as HTML. So there we go. So so you've got, in this case, 17 and 18 here. The delegates are registered. You've got a certain number of started it but haven't completed it, and then you've got some excuse me, failed or passed. So that's the sort of the most basic information that you'll get on that. If you just wanted a very, very overall top-level view of the situation. If you want to go into more detail, you can do the user listing by course. And there we go. So maybe we'll do the same. Where are we? Okay, let's do that. There we go. So here, as you can see, you obviously drill down and actually see the people. Quite a few of these are Epigeum people, of course, if not all of them. So you can see, you can't really see exactly where they've got to on our system, but you can see when they last logged in. So if obviously someone has been leaving it a long time, you may want to flag it to them. You can see what their course status is, the score in the quiz, how many attempts they've taken at the quiz. Now again, this will be, because everyone's been using this as a demo one, so there's a lot there, so there's 8 there, and then the date when the course was passed or failed. So there we are, there's a more positive one down there. So there we go. So that's quite a useful report there. Then we have, you can drill down and look at a specific individual as well if you wanted to. You can check out the authenticity of a certificate. They have a number, so if anyone was trying to pull a fast one and put one through that wasn't theirs, you can check if they've invented a number and check that out. We do have a pre-enroll facility. This isn't part of what we're doing on this project, but it's for if people have a pre-arrival students. Particularly, this seems to be more with undergrad type courses. For example, Academic Success at Galway, they're offering the first module, the first course, asking them to do it before they arrive. I had a question there. Let's have a look. Fiona. Yeah, hi Fiona. This one will be the 80%. 80%. That one will, as you're logging into our system, you'll use our percentage. I hope that's clear. So in this case, it'll be 80%. So I mentioned the pre-enroll, but that's for people arriving. Largely it's arriving, or it's for security control, but this one won't be used in this agreement, as I see. Peak usage periods, you can see, let's do it again. So let's take another year. So you can see when people are logging in, whether there's maybe not much data on this one, but you can see, you could check out if they're doing it all at the last moment, or whether they are staggering their access to the program. So that's another one. And of course, evaluation results. After the quiz, they are invited to do this. And there's 5 questions. There's a 5th hidden question, which isn't here. So they have they have these 4 generic questions. And then there's a 5th one where they can put in free text, so it can actually give a little bit more detail. And that you can also, obviously is very important, you can run a report on that as well. So that could be very helpful as well. And that would come out as a spreadsheet. They won't come out with anything on that, I don't think. Oh, it has come up with something. Yeah, so you've got a few things there. That's just a demo one, so you've got some very random comments there. This one is pre and post calls available. That one is not active, so that one you can ignore. And then I think a very useful one, the quiz question analysis, which let's change the thing for change. I know, sorry. Yeah, that's okay. Now what's happening here? So this one will show how many people have got certain things right, certain questions right, and certain questions wrong. So I think this one's particularly useful. So you can analyze and see. So you could perhaps see an area where people are consistently getting an answer wrong. So you might decide, well, we need to do a workshop on that area, or do some extra work on that particular area that is causing problems. So that's a really nice report. So so we have this suite which is available for all the programs, and obviously you can run those off. Any questions on that? I'll open up the box. I don't know if anyone's got any questions on that. Okay. Veronica's asked, is there a limit on the number of times that the quiz can be taken? No, there isn't in our system. They can take it as many times as they want. I found actually even when the program's on a VLE, largely people prefer to leave it open because they want them to actually do and not put them off. But anyway, the simple answer is on our system which you're using, it's unlimited number of questions, number of takings. I don't know if we've got any other questions. Oh yeah.
Would you like me to take this one?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have a pre-evaluation, although we may, if each institution wants something, we may be able to draft a short pre-evaluation. But the climate surveys do provide you a feeling within the university or within a department. And then potentially there would be something where you could check 6 months or a year later to see if the climate has changed. So this is kind of the first round of these climate surveys, and they will be evolving over the course of your contract. So you will still get to see what it looked like year 1, and year 2 may look very different for your climate surveys. So you can compare those kind of things. There is a short pre-evaluation, but normally that is for an extra fee, and that's only for the concise version.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. I think we've got another question so far. It's Marie. Okay. Okay. Right. Good. I think that's all I got on that so far. So I'll pop back to the slides. There we go. So yeah, again, we're probably repeating ourselves a little bit here, but so there's one core course for the concise version. As we said, this is for experienced researchers. 5 optional courses, which I'll show you in a second. And as Jennifer said, course around 45-75 minutes. The optional courses are around 15, and then there's about an hour of additional activities per optional course. Okay. Oops. There we go. The 5 optional courses are human subjects protections, the humane use and care of animals in research, conflict of interest, safety and health, and intellectual property. These have their own little mini certificate, so they don't influence on the pass and fail of the core course certificate. So, but again, I'll show that in a second. Okay, so it uses a range of surveys to collect data as part of the learning process to help administrators to gain a detailed look at their campus climate, their learner motivations, learner capabilities, and participant perceptions of training. So the institution can gain a true insight into their learning environment and measure the quality and effectiveness of their online training. This was the sort of rationale behind it. And they can compare and benchmark their impact data against aggregate data from multiple anonymous institutions and also within your own institution, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail. I don't know if, Michelle, do you have anything to add on this slide?
Well, I would just say that, again, these are going to be comparable year 1, year 2, and year 3 for your institutions. And then if you're, wanting to look at more detail, you can drill down into those reports. So that's a separate reporting aspect from the administrative reports. So we didn't want to mix those together because of privacy, and we have gone to great lengths to make sure those privacy and anonymity results have been protected.
Great, thank you. That's great. Okay. Whoops. All right. I'll just show you something from the concise program and the impact reporting toolkit. So let's go out again. So let's move that over there. Right. So okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't do that one quite yet. So. Just a couple of screens from this. So again, we've got the same sort of setup as the the 5-hour version, as you see, laid out in the same way: pass mark and download the certificate when they pass. I wanted just to show you that. So, okay, the concise version is very much stripped down version of the other program. It really is just shooting through it. We've removed most of the sort of activities within it, the sort of drag and drops and the most of the video. So it really is kind of a checklist, so that the more experienced researchers just go through and double check, yeah, that's fine, I've got that, and so on. Now, I'll show you something else in a moment, but one of the things, as of course, was the impact surveys, which are dotted through the program. And here I just wanted to show you a couple of examples in situ, as it were. So here we go. Have you ever been aware of seriously irresponsible research reports or research behaviours? So never, once, a few times, many times, no opinion. So again, I'll just do a sort of random click. I'll just go through them all. And then you can, similar to the polls, as I mentioned in the long version, the long standard version, but these do feed back into our main database. So so here you have an option of presentation as well, so pie chart or table view, or the first one that comes up, the stack bar chart. So you can again compare against other people and their views on that. I mentioned, as you say, the basic layout is quite similar, but there aren't many pods either in this one down the side. It's much more stripped down. It's kind of I suppose a sort of checklist, really. I'm just going to see if I can find one of those. So there we go. Yeah. So, literally they would go through authorship. Okay, check that. Fine. Does that go through? Check that off. So the aim is just to sort of a refresher more than anything else. And then when they get through to the quiz, this is actually, the quiz is 25 questions, so it's actually quite a big one, this one, but a similar setup to the other one. So as you see, the reports that you saw there, as you see, this panel is virtually the same as the one I showed you before, the full length one. But of course, apart from the impact reference here, you have the impact reports. And you can look at these via impact measure or program. I'll click on one of these. So this is the one you're going to be working in. It takes a second or two to load the filters, and I'll do the core course. I'll show the impact measures, but I'll do all when it lights up. You can tell it goes a darker grey or black, and it's loaded. So there's a couple there. And then the construct, that's something we're working on at the moment. We haven't built that one up yet. I think we had a question there. So let's see. Okay, I'll just before we go on to that, I think we had a question. We've had a few people had to go. I don't know. I might have. Is the training ECTS accredited? I might ask Michelle to help with us, but accreditation largely is approval rather than accreditation. Michelle, are you able to add something on this?
Yeah, so it's something you would have to submit yourself. We don't submit that for you because it depends on whether you blend it with additional items, but the actual program is not accredited. It's approved by certain vendors that say, or research institutes that have said this is an equivalent program for compliance requirements for this research product or project, and it depends on whether you're doing global research and that kind of thing. So it does vary. If you have specific questions about that, though, we can do a one-to-one call.
Great, thank you. Okay, I don't know if Enroll's got any follow-up to that. We can always pop back there in a second. So you have your these are the filters. That's a pleasure. Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, these are the filters. By the way, again, I'll come back to this, but this is going to be it's going to be very important for us to set up your own individual institutional page. We will need your contacts. I'm in contact with Jennifer about that, and we'll be sending you a spreadsheet to fill in with what you would like to compare within your institution. So whether it's the Faculty of Medicine against the Faculty of Arts, or whether it's a subdivision of one of the faculties, or whatever it is that will work for you, we will set up that page for you. You can also send your logo, and we can put that on your impact page, impact login page as well. We'll obviously send you reminders about that. So I know we're giving you a lot of information all in one go at the moment, but anyway, so we will send reminders. So we've got these various filters. I will leave those for now. So this is just one of the examples. If the researcher has concerns that a colleague may have engaged in improper research behaviour, it is best to raise those concerns with the colleague first before contacting the colleague's supervisor or an institutional research integrity official. So you have to say true, false, or no opinion. Now, at the moment, this is it's a relatively dummy version. What you will have here is benchmark and institution. By the way, nothing will kick in, no reports will kick in until you've had 15 people through the program to save anonymity. So that will click in, and then you can run institutional reports, and at the bottom it will come up. You'll have the click button at the bottom of the page, and you can run reports on that. And then you also have the benchmark, which of course compares right across all our worldwide data, but again anonymous, of course. And again, as you see, you've got the option of the various different ways of viewing. So we have a number of these running through the program, and you can run reports on that. So your impact report, you will, as I said, from around sort of January 2019, you'll have the long version on this impact program as well, and you'll have this reporting, these reports for both programs. Whereas at the moment, the longer one, the 5-hour one, you won't just have this one, but for the concise, you will have this one. Michelle, anything to add there for you on that?
I don't think we have anything to add right now. I think as you start getting into these reports, you may have more questions for us, but will be available during the implementation portion.
Right. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Okay. So I'll just check, see if there's any questions there. Okay. Don't think so far. Okay. Right. We'll go back to the slides. Okay. Right. So in terms of the support that we can offer, both both Michelle and I will probably be will both be involved. Although as I cover Ireland now, Michelle did before. the lion's share will be me, but I'm very pleased that she'll be helping as well. We sort of did a service agreement that we will visit institutions with more than 100 licenses per year, a minimum of once a year for the duration of the contract. So I'm actually away a lot of January, but speaking to Jennifer anyway, the main time I think when you'll be back and getting running again will be February. So I'm aiming to come to those institutions ideally in the middle 2 weeks of February, but we'll be in touch with you about that to just discuss implementation, the implementation of the program. So you can ask also on the individual level about the setup. With institutions with fewer than 100 licenses a year, we would offer a call, a Skype call or a webinar, whatever it is, a GoToMeeting rather, call, a minimum once a year. And obviously, if we're in the area, if we can get there, I would like to come and meet you if at all possible. I do prefer a face-to-face meeting if at all possible. So that would be the idea there. Then we have a number of support documents, which I'll show you in a second. I'll just go through them and show you a couple of them. The implementation planner template. This is a document which will basically helps you think about the various issues that are going to be involved in implementing the program. And this you can, obviously you don't have to do all of it, but it's just a sort of guidelines. We have an implementation guide with other ideas about how to implement the programs. We have instructor manuals for each of the programs. We have a research integrity one with concise in there as well, and this contains implementation advice, but critically activities which you could use in a blended learning approach. We design all our programs ideally for a blended learning approach. It's not always possible, I'm aware of that because of resources, but we have activities linked to the various modules, so you could use those in your workshops. We have a range of promotional items as well. We've done a very nice 2-minute video about research integrity, which you could put into your in fact you could put into your VLE and email around, and so just help you raise awareness of the programs, plus of course flyers and social media text, which again we can supply to you. I've also suggested, I haven't really spoken to Jennifer about this yet, but that we have an annual update webinar. I think it would be good if we could get some feedback on how things have gone and any developments. For example, the second version of Impact, so you'd be going to the full-length version of Research Integrity Impact. So I think that would be valuable, and then we can discuss about when that might be the best time to do that. Just to show you a couple of the documents. So we have the planner template, so we have various topic areas to think about. So visions, goals, stakeholders. So thinking about who those people are and your vision. I'll just flick down and just show a couple of other ones. Who's your team, who's going to be involved in your team, your pedagogical approach, and so on. It's important to emphasize that we will be there with you, so please do get in touch, either on our physical visit or a call. We can discuss these things with you. We are that's very much our role. There's also the implementation guide that I mentioned, so a guide to successful implementation, and going through the various it picks up a lot of the things from the template, but it's another document that we will send you. There's also a guide to help you with the impact dashboard, and also with the full-length one, the non-impact one as well, so we supply those as well. let me just have a quick check on if any questions. I am aware we're giving so much information all in one go, but as I said, it is recorded. So so let's go back to that. I don't know whether Michelle might like to come in on this one. Generating uptake.
So there's a couple of ways that we have used to help people to get usage to their maximum for each institution. One of those is to make it part of the credit course or part of the requirement for involving students and post.
Lost you then.
Grads and faculty. It's generally if you want to include some blended learning for opportunities within a course that you already have existing. In addition, a lot of the Irish universities have used digital badges. Those do come from your LMS system, so you would have to create a way with our online hosting to issue those badges through that system. And then, some of the things that I would recommend is looking at working with your HR department or your heads of faculty to award some professional development credit through the university. It does help with uptake and it does increase awareness, although you already have some stipulations within your agreement with the IUA.
Great. You there, Michelle?
Ooh. I am.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. I'll just pick up on the last couple of ones on that. So we suggest add a subject-specific material. Maybe you have your own web page within your own VLE where you put the link to our Epigeum platform in there and put some subject-specific material or material relating to your own institution. And then a key part of our role is to help you with your internal promotion. I mentioned obviously some of these things already, but things to think about, of course, launch events. Deciding on a date to let everybody know about the programs. We recommend a project champion, but I guess all the people ringing in now are the project champions to sort of drive the project forward. Posters, flyers. We don't give any. We don't give any paper versions now, but we do and send electronic versions that you can add to emails or print out yourselves, of course. We're very focused at the moment on getting some new case studies together. Possibly the most common question I get when I go on an implementation visit, and I would imagine it's the same for Michelle, is what are other people doing? So the sharing of best practice, we want to one of our roles is to try and facilitate that. And we have some existing case studies, and we're always looking for new ones. So if anyone was willing to do one with us, we'd be delighted. We do have a number already from Irish institutions, but we would like some more. And obviously testimonials, very powerful way of getting uptake, particularly if you can't make the program mandatory. We'll be talking to you individually about that, about maybe some of you can make it mandatory, some of you can't, and for which target audiences you can make it mandatory and not, but that we'll do on an individual basis. Emails, bulletins, newsletters, of course. Link to launch events, but perhaps more relaxed and more frequent. Learn at lunchtime. Just let people know about, come have a sandwich and we'll tell you about what you've got, what's available for you. I mentioned social media text, which we provide, and you can adapt that for your needs. Webinars again like this, but we run occasional webinars to support our customers. Student union, that will depend on and committees, that will depend on the type of program that you're talking about here. You're probably talking more about committees. Use your university website. Yes, as I said, create a page. You can put your own materials around that and embed the link to our platform in there, and then also train the trainer sessions. We sometimes come over and do presentations if we can get a good group of people together to help raise awareness. That's another option as well. So it's engaging participants. I think we've come to the end of the slides, but obviously if anyone has any written or verbal comments or questions now, I'm aware we've given a lot of information all in one go, a big chunk. But we'll be here to help you sift through that information and make sure you develop the best implementation plan possible, so you maximise the use of the tools that are available to you. So can I throw open the floor to anybody for either written comments or spoken?
Hi, Nick. I was just one question, and you did address it at the beginning, but in all the information, is just around the data protection. Is that going to be included in the 2019 version? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's right.
Data protection's already, well, it's already there, and it does have a disclaimer when the user actually logs in. And so they see the disclaimer and have to check that box or uncheck it to move on. So individuals can opt out of the climate surveys. And then as an institution, you can as well.
I was thinking of there are new data protection laws coming into the country. Is there?
Yes, So those are being updated as well. So once that change is in, we will also have a change in our whole platform for that reason.
Okay. And that'll happen when it is launched in the middle of 2018, or it'll wait until 2019 before it's updated?
So it will be available over the summer to test.
Okay.
So it's really up to you whether you want to. Some institutions are just not, providing that training during those months, or you can put it up. So it's really up to you. You can provide the training for the first half and then say, well, we want to wait till the new year to start it, but it's available for testing as soon as it's built.
Goes live. Okay, as long as it comes into legislation. Okay.
Yeah, so it's up to you how you want to implement it, whether you want to kind of pull the training back for a few months to get yourselves up and running, or if you want to just carry it over. So that's something we will intensely work with you on.
Excellent. Okay, great. No, that was just something I missed at the beginning, and thanks for clarifying.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, questions, comments?
Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Fiona here. I just had a quick query in relation to giving the individuals in your institution access to the module. Is it preferable that you would give them the link via your VLE, or is there any preference in relation to that?
I guess it depends on the number. Michelle, what would you say on that one?
For the link, it's still going to go to our hosted system, whether you put it in your LMS or if you provide it through a separate web page or an email. So we are offering this through the contract only on our hosted system, but the link to that hosted system can be placed anywhere you want to put it.
Yeah, I suppose it's just more in regards to the additional information we want to provide to those people around the use of the modules. So maybe the VLE is a better way to go, but that's fine.
Yeah, definitely we can work with you on that. So I do often recommend if you put it on your VLE, then you can add all of the user guides and you can add your own instructions that you want to give to users. And it's probably the best place to put it, but some researchers are not on campus and don't have access to the portal, so that's something you want to consider depending on your institution's situation. Some researchers are working off-site, and so in that case, then you could email them the link as well. So it is flexible that way.
Grant, thanks.
All right, thank you. Any other ones? I don't know if Jennifer's got any round up thoughts or comments?
No, I don't think there's anything for me. Thanks. I think it's all pretty clear. If I think of anything over the weekend, I'll come back to you, Nick, on email. And Michelle,
Okay.
thanks.
Good, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Just around this recorded webinar, where do we find it?
Shall we just send it to? That's a good question. Shall I just send it to Jennifer?
Yeah. Well, if Jennifer's happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
No, just because there'll be other colleagues that I want to show it to, so that's perfect.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking is I probably don't have contact details for everyone who's on this particular call. So I don't know if you could send it to everyone who's on the call directly if you have their contact details through your system. And then I can send it on just in a general email to my usual mailing list for this.
Okay. All right.
I think you can grab, I've used before, I think you can grab a report of the contact details of everyone who logged in.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
There's a few names here that aren't familiar to me, so.
Great, okay, that's good. Okay, lovely. Any more last comments? I say, I'm really looking forward to this on a personal level. I think it's going to be a really interesting project. I'm looking forward to working with you all on this. So yeah, that'll be great, I think. So, Michelle, any final comments?
I don't. Just know that we're here to support you, and if you have any specific questions, Nick or I will kind of trade off getting back to you as and when you need more information from us.
Yep. As I said, we'll be when I've got all the contact details, we're sending you the spreadsheet for the units and departments. Excuse me. So that we can set each institution up with your impact page for the concise for the moment. So that will be worked through. Hopefully we can get that sort of away and out to you before Christmas, certainly. So follow up on that anyway. Okay, good. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for logging in and listening. As I said, I have a recording of this which we'll make available, and we look forward to working with you on this. I can wish you a very nice weekend, and if we don't speak, obviously, before then, have a lovely Christmas and New Year break. But I dare say we'll be in touch before then, via email at the very least, and then be meeting a number of you in person in February and onwards. Good. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. All the very best. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.